Gyokeres chooses Arsenal. I mean, look, shocked if we didn't get Gyokeres, but I also said 70%. I think there's a lot to break down here, but I think the most important update is this one. And remember, this is the guy who has been telling us that Man United have been on the phone to Sporting last week, last weekend, all week. We've been chasing this deal, according to Fabrizio Romano, and this is the update from Fabrizio in the last half an hour. Gyokeres' priority is Arsenal. Despite calls from Manchester United, his priority is Arsenal. Gyokeres always an option, and Sesko talks with no deal so far. Arsenal are assessing both situations. United remain keen, but believe deal is now unlikely. So it's well, look, there's a few other bits to get into. There's a big story coming out about Ekitike, but Ekitike is more expensive than Sesko and Gyokeres. I feel like you just never know in a transfer window. You just never know. Even Ben Jacobs has left the door open, saying that Gyokeres is open to Man United, but he's open to a move to Arsenal as well. But you go back to what Barada said. We only want players that want to play for Manchester United, and this is my exact point. That arrogance is not going to get you anywhere. We need the best players. We don't need players. We can't ignore players that maybe want to go somewhere else. I think that, look, it's not over yet, but if Gyokeres signs for Arsenal, I sort of feel like, what are we doing? I think the thing that many, I was looking on social media when I was changing the thumbnail and everything, and I'm looking at the live chat more importantly, and look, get me your thoughts in. I think the big question here is, what's the plan with the striker? People are going to start panicking about Mbeumo. I wouldn't panic about that. But then again, maybe I would. No, I wouldn't. We got Cunha done. But with the striker situation, I sort of am a bit confused. We went for Delap, we didn't get Delap. Then we've gone for Gyokeres, and it makes people think, oh, we've got a chance of Gyokeres. And ultimately, 3 or 4 weeks ago, most of us were saying Gyokeres is going to go to Arsenal. And then suddenly we don't get Delap, and it's almost like we're knocking on the door saying, do you want to come? Do you want to come? And he's going, no, I want to go to Arsenal. If Arsenal drop out, I'll talk to you, but I want to go to Arsenal. And it feels like we've sort of knocking on doors a little bit desperately. I don't know. Because I'm very surprised based on, look, I'll tell you what I saw on Sunday, but I'm very surprised anyway that it sort of contradicts. Well, it was an opinion piece this morning when I said that my feeling is that United are going for players where the player has said yes to us and then negotiate with the club. It's very, very clear from this that we've not been told yes by Gyokeres, have we? We clearly haven't. If he's like saying, look, back off, I want Arsenal. I'll speak to you if Arsenal say no. I don't even know if I want him anymore. I do, but it makes me so angry where we are as a football club. I immediately started thinking about last season, the Europa League final, and how bad we are as a football club, that we're now hoping Arsenal choose Sesko so he maybe chooses us. We can't do the deal. We can't do the deal, can we? We literally can't do the deal now. Like, we're sloppy seconds. We can't. Arsenal fans will just laugh at us. We can't do this deal now. We can't do it. Let's be logical. We can't do this deal. If he wants Arsenal, we can't do the deal. And clearly that's what he does. So you just question what United have been doing for 2 weeks. Have we just spiraled out of control because we didn't get Delap? Look, when you follow the credibility, we wanted Delap. He was our number one priority. He went to Chelsea. We've now gone to Gyokeres, who has said, I want Arsenal. So that's 2 down. Where do we go next? Ekitike at 100 million euros. We'll talk about that next. But you know what? The truth will come out in the fullness of time. But it feels like we didn't get Delap, and we've desperately moved to Gyokeres, and he said, no, I still want Arsenal. So we're sort of desperately flapping around. But we're in a... Look, this is something we've got to be very wary of. We're not in a position of strength. We're really not. We're Manchester United, but we're not in a position of strength. We're desperate. We're desperately trying to rebuild this football club. And you need to try and get players. And I'm not going to criticise the club for knocking on the door of Gyokeres and Sporting, but it feels a little bit like we've knocked on the door and not really, thought it through. But it's very disappointing. It's very disappointing because you do wonder where we're going to go next. Wasting my career. Look at the last 3 years with Arsenal. Stability, good footballing side. They'll be better with me in it. It's the better project. Of course it's the better project. 100% it's the better project. Obviously, we can't sell him the project. Obviously, the Amorim thing is not as big as some people were saying it was, because that's what was being said. Amorim is the pull. Amorim and him. Amorim made him. Manchester United's a massive football club. Obviously, the Arsenal project is better. And it's annoying, but it's right. I can't argue with it. It's correct. The football club, Manchester United Football Club, is a bloody mess. He's 27. You can understand that. But yeah, it's massively, 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 massively disappointing. Just in relation to a couple of other people, it's not just Fabrizio. I mean, take Fabrizio.
Victor Gyokeres is determined to force through a move to the Premier League this summer. Arsenal and Manchester United have both held talks with Gyokeres. So it seems to be that Gyokeres will be coming to the Premier League. It feels like it's a toss-up between Manchester United and Arsenal. Now, in their current iterations, if you're a player and you have the opportunity of playing for Manchester United or Arsenal, whilst I totally understand the magnificence of Manchester United, it can only be Arsenal.
It's Arsenal.
It's Arsenal.
It's Arsenal. They're in the better position. They're in the better position going forward in the next few years. Of course, Manchester United are on a rebuild that seems to have lasted an eternity at the moment. 100% it's Arsenal. Is that a gamble for you?
It is a gamble. It is a gamble. Look, it's a gamble that they have to take.
That they need?
Potentially. I mean, his goal record is brilliant. Do you know what I've just thought? If he does choose Arsenal, he's almost given a V sign to the Manchester United manager who he has a pre-existing relationship with. That's quite... Like, if you look at Mbeumo...
There's no loyalty in football, Rory.
Well, Mbeumo is doing everything he can to follow Frank to Tottenham. Yeah. And it feels like Victor Gyokeres doing everything he can to avoid linking up with...
It's Champions League football, though. That's the draw. I think Mbeumo, that will be the draw for Spurs. It's not 17th position in the league. It's Champions League football. And it's Thomas Frank. Yeah. And the same with Gyokeres. It's Champions League football. It's who can I go... Everyone knows I'm a number 9 that can score goals. Everyone knows Arsenal need that number 9 that can score goals. Am I confident enough to go and take them to the title? If he feels he is, he's got unbelievable goal scoring record. 39 goals last season. A lot for Sporting in 33 games. It is incredible.
Arsenal may have a free run at landing Victor Gyokeres after the striker told Manchester United he will not be joining them this summer, but Bayern Munich are now in the race for Benjamin Sesko's signature. The Gunners are in the market for a new No. 9 and Gyokeres and Sesko are their top targets. Both are expected to leave their respective clubs in the summer transfer window after fine seasons and would likely be similar in terms of price. And after weeks of waiting to learn which striker Arsenal would go for, we seem to be getting closer to our answer. United's admiration for Gyokeres is well documented and the Red Devils even appointed his Sporting Lisbon boss, Ruben Amorim, as their manager earlier in the season. But Portuguese outlet Record has now claimed that Gyokeres' representatives have informed United that the 27-year-old will not be moving to Old Trafford. The same cannot be said for Sesko, who was heavily linked with the Gunners last summer before signing a new contract with RB Leipzig. Bayern Munich are said to view Sesko, 22, as the ideal long-term successor to Harry Kane and could rival Arsenal for the striker's signature in the coming weeks. Bild have revealed that Bayern also tried to sign Sesko last summer and, like Arsenal, have not fully given up their pursuit of the Slovenia international, even if they have not held talks over a move like the Londoners. With Gyokeres wanting a move to the Emirates, and competition emerging for Sesko, a deal for the former Coventry City man could now look even more appealing for Arsenal. Although the summer transfer window doesn't officially reopen until Monday, the Gunners have already been busy at work behind the scenes with a move for Martin Zubimendi, the Real Sociedad playmaker, at an advanced stage pending the completion of a medical. The Spain international was also close to a Premier League move last summer, only to U-turn on a move to Liverpool at the 11th hour. Kepa Arrizabalaga is also on Arsenal's radar in their search for a no-2 goalkeeper and is available for just £5 million after spending last season on loan with Bournemouth.